What's up, Cowboys Nation? IndyCar Tim here with your Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz. And I bet if you had Rex Ryan on your Cowboys bingo card for Monday, for this week at any point, or this season at any point, you probably win. Because that is a name that has been thrown around as a potential fix for the Dallas Cowboys defense. And look, you can't sugarcoat any of this. The defense is a huge liability. We've seen it all year. And, a lot of people are calling it historic. I don't know if you remember the 2020 defense under Mike Nolan and Mike McCarthy's first year. I don't know that it's that bad, because that was bad. And I haven't compared stats. I'm just going on, what I remember, the eyeball test and all of that. That defense was, to me, it was worse. So I don't think we're back quite at Mike Nolan historically bad. But this is a bad, terrible defense. There's no way to get around it. If Jerry wants January football here in Dallas, he's going to have to do something pretty quick. The NFL trade deadline is November 4th. It's a week from Tuesday. And there's a very, very bold, edgy move that has been brought to the table by one Connor Orr from Sports Illustrated. And that is to bring in Rex Ryan, either as a defensive consultant for the now, or if you're going to make a change at defensive coordinator, bring him in as the defensive coordinator, or bring him in as the consultant for the now. If things go well, then you replace Matt Eberflus with Rex Ryan next season. And look, I'm not saying I am for this move. I'm not even saying I'm against this move. But when I saw this piqued my interest. Maybe from a everybody likes to watch a train wreck scenario, or, a lot of people like to watch NASCAR for the crashes. Maybe that's where my brain's going with this, because I think a number of things could happen with this. Like, number one, it could be a train wreck. Number two, it could work. I don't really know. But Connor Orr's quote was, "The Cowboys should hire Rex Ryan. You may know him as an ESPN haymaker throwing analyst, but coaches know him as a defensive guru. That's the pitch. And given the injuries and week-to-week meltdowns, it's worth at least a real conversation," end quote. So, again, I've watched Rex. We've all watched him on TV over on ESPN. I can't stand him on TV. I've never been a fan of Rex Ryan. Anywhere he's ever been, he's the son of Buddy, Vomit. If you're old enough to know, then you know about Buddy Ryan. And of course, his brother was here previously for a couple of years. 2011, 2012, Rob Ryan was the defensive coordinator here. I don't have as much of a problem with Rob Ryan. They're twins, by the way, if you didn't know. Rob usually has long hair because he likes to cut it off at the end of the year and donate it to charity or for a wig-making bald kids thing or something. I don't know. But kudos to him. He did not work out here as a defensive coordinator. I've never liked anything Rex has ever done. Doesn't mean a hill of beans if he could work for this defense, though. Look, he would definitely bring some identity, I think, which is kind of what we thought Matt Eberflus was going to do. If I recall correctly, he's got, I want to say he's got some disguise packages with his blitzes that I don't feel the Cowboys have here. The problem is I don't know that they have the personnel to run those disguise packages right now. Even if Rex Ryan was to come in, I don't know that the Cowboys have the personnel to run his defense, whatever form of defense that would be. We've all thrown Matt Eberflus under the bus here, and rightfully so. But I think this is just as much of a personnel problem as it is a coaching problem, a schemes problem. And yes, you should coach. If you're the defensive coordinator, you should coach the guys that you have here and play to their strengths. You should not be so stubborn as to install your defense, regardless of who the people are trying to run it, and hope for the best, which is, I think, is what we had a lot of early in the season. Now, I think Eberflus has come off of that for the last couple of weeks. Nothing worked against Denver. You had nothing. So you want to try something like this? I mean, it can't be worse, right? I don't think. So here's how I think something like this would work. He would be a consultant now. You plug him in during the bye week. He's not replacing anybody. He's layering in some pressure packages. He's throwing in some coverage disguises, some third down, some red zone, some 2-minute defense packages. Matt Eberflus can keep the call sheet. Rex would simply just kind of augment the defensive game plan. Would something like that work? I don't know. You basically have two defensive coordinators, co-coordinators. I mean, that kind of works in college from time to time, at least on the offensive side of the ball. But I don't know. I don't know that this would work at all. And this could be an audition for him for 2026 if he decides he wants to do it, if he wants to be the DC. Now, don't forget, he did interview for the defensive coordinator job last offseason before Eberflus was hired. So he's got some familiarity here. He and Schotty are familiar with each other. Rex worked with Brian Schottenheimer in New York. I believe Schotty was his offensive coordinator for 2 seasons with the Jets. So there's obviously a working relationship that's already there. Is it good or bad or indifferent? I have no clue. Connor Orr might have some insight into that since he's the one that sort of is discussing this. But, man, it seems like such a stretch. There's a ton of concerns that would go along with this. Is there too many voices? Are there going to be problems with guys staying in their lane? Are those lanes going to be defined? Who does what? Is that going to be on paper? Are they just working together and hope for the best? There's a potential for a media circus, I think, with all of this, especially if it goes badly. If you come to Dallas and you help win, you're never buy a drink in this town again. If you don't, you're going to go the way, Rex would go the way of his brother Rob, who we never hear about anymore. We never talk about anymore here in Dallas. So anyway, those are kind of my thoughts on this. You guys let me know. Would you bring in Rex Ryan as a consultant today? Or would you rather write it out as it is? Please drop your takes in the comments. If you're not watching the YouTube video, if you're listening on your favorite podcast app to the recorded podcast, find me on social media at IndyCarTim. Would love to talk to you about this. Would love to hear your thoughts. Make sure you leave us a 5-star review. It helps more Cowboys fans find us when I can speak properly. But yeah, I'd like to talk about this with you guys, find out what your thoughts are. I'm IndyCarTim. This is the Dallas Cowboys Daily Blitz right here on FanStream Sports and the Fish Report YouTube channel. The trade deadline is Tuesday. It's a week from Tuesday. The bye is looming. If Dallas is serious about a defensive reset, a phone call is going to have to be made. Who's it going to be to? I don't know. Till next time, boys and girls, we'll see you.